Hello, everybody. Anime Reflux. This show sucks.
Not only did it suck, but does anyone even remember what order things happened in? I just watched it and I can't remember.
Well, there was the scene at the beginning with one character who didn't come up again for half of the
15
show.
minutes.
So I thought about F, A Tale of Memories, and I thought long and hard, and I realized back when I played a lot of visual novels back in like high school, early high school, this was one of the ones that I came across and then skipped over because it looked boring.
Good
And I was
man.
right. Because boy, is this boring.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
You didn't dodge it hard enough. This
Dodged it
bullet,
in a-
this
It came back and got
this
me.
bullet went forward in time and shot him in the friggin' temporal lobe. That's what happened.
You saying
I
it's
don't
a
think it's
time bullet?
The concept of a time bullet is far more interesting than the show deserves.
The show does what a lot of visual novels do, the bad ones at least, where it starts really slow with music and a little monologue of this character who, oh hey, apparently didn't know what he wanted to do with his life and kind of screwed up because of it and doesn't know what he was going to do. On the way back, he goes on these railroad tracks and he encounters this girl, and he's just like, "Hey," and she's like, "Hey," and he's like, "You know, this train doesn't actually this isn't a real train station you're at. This it doesn't work." And then she laughs, and it's like that 45-second encounter.
That's not how it goes in the dub. It goes, this isn't a real train station, right? This place is abandoned. And she's like, wait, what? And he's like, never mind. So,
Yeah,
that, okay.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same basic thing in this. I'm just not quoting it properly because I have a hard
In which
time
case,
remembering the show.
in both versions, he's saying, hey, here's a really useful piece of information for you. And she's like, wait, really? And he's like, no, never mind. You don't need to know that.
Just keep sitting here forever.
Yeah, I guess. Also, you mentioned the visual novel thing. Isn't it great how adaptation means you don't have to do all the things that another medium did that wouldn't really fit with the medium you're adapting it to? It's great how you can do that and how most people don't.
Like, there's lots of shows that have been adapted from visual novels. Sometimes the adaptation is way better and does a good job and is an enjoyable show. Sometimes it's, hey, let's just make the visual novel into an anime word for word.
Yeah, which, frankly, visual novels not that great as storytelling devices and methods, because they tend to like to give you the illusion of choice and that you're making an impact on the story, when really there's only 3 possible ways it could turn out, usually, if that.
Yeah, it's a visual novel. You tend to read it because it's basically just a book. Like that's the point of it. It's a book with voice acting and some visuals. So you have to approach it from that mentality because it's not. It usually isn't really like a game, per se.
Yeah. But
Because if you do approach it with a game mentality, it usually is disappointing.
But here's the thing, even if it's not really a game, it likes to pretend it's a game sometimes, and that's usually to its detriment, is what I'm trying to say. And failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I have to say, like, all of the music in this show is like the most sleep-inducing elevator-ass music I've ever heard in a show
I
ever.
can tell the quality of the music. Like, this is the type of music, I think they pulled the exact music from the visual novel.
That's horrible.
Like,
That's awful. Shit.
I've played a few visual novels. This is exactly visual novel music, and it's terrible. It is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why people would watch this show. Like, fuck, do you want to take a nap? Like, God. Like
We're talking a lot around this show, I guess, in terms of what actually happens, but really, it's disjointed as all hell and doesn't want to explain anything, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I get it, but
Yeah, like...
I mean, I only
summary
understood
gives
what it
more
was actually trying to do. And by the way, what it was actually trying to do was the last, 5-10 minutes, which I don't know what the rest of it was about, but the main premise of the show was in the last 5-10 minutes. They eventually get to almost kind of telling you what it was. I wouldn't have understood if I hadn't read the summary beforehand.
I read the episode list summary, and things start to make a little bit more sense, but not much. Turns out she has a memory defect that she can't remember more than 13 hours in the past.
Yeah,
The one of the
I remember. I remember thinking, "Hey,
summary.
isn't it kind of sad that an Adam Sandler film did this better?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's painfully true.
Yeah.
Good movie, I think.
Anyway, so okay, before we get too deep into this, I just want to point out the dub was terrible. It was really bad.
Oh, it was bad.
I wanted to say the sub wasn't impressive either.
no.
Yeah. So the material they have to work with is bad. The direction they got must have been worse. Because there's some voice actors you'd recognize in here. Like, there's the guy from the Ghost Stories gag dub. There's Ochako from My Hero Academia. There's Todoroki from My Hero Academia, doing the exact same voice, by the way. There's a lot of voice actors that are very experienced and do a lot of good work, and they're just not good here.
Well, I think... When did this show come out? Because this might be, them before they were experienced. I mean, you have to start somewhere.
This is Lucy Christian. She's been doing voice acting for, since, early 2000s?
This came out in 2007.
I'm trying to think. I'd have to go pretty deep into working out when dubs happen and when the original happened and such, and that's going to take a while, so I'm not going to do that.
More effort than the show deserves.
Yeah, this show, it's disjointed because you essentially have 3 different main characters, I guess.
And one's not real.
Yeah, you have the brother character who is doing research and everything, and it's Christmas, and he goes out and he goes to a church to try to get some research. I don't know why. And there's a nun there who's like, "Hey, there's no mass going on right now." He's like, "Yeah, I'm just doing research." And she's just sitting up on this statue.
Which seems incredibly rude for a nun to do, really.
It seems pretty sacrilegious, so I don't know. I'm not Catholic. But typically they tend to stand on ceremony more so than other branches of Christianity. So...
I don't know. So, yeah. He's doing research. There's a dude who is shooting footage for something who never comes up again, but he sees a young girl who looks like somewhere in the range of 10 and 15. And he has to get footage of her for some reason, which...
You know what I don't... One of the things I dislike strongly against, the generic brand of romance visual novels, these girls that we drew are the most beautiful girls in the entire world ever. And that's how they're treated, even if they aren't.
Yeah. So, dude is like trying to get research, and he gets a call from a girl, his sister. It's not really
Yeah,
established perfectly well.
his sister.
Yeah, and she's like, "Hey, come home." And at about this time, noisy traffic. At about this time, um, that girl that was running past the photographer ups and says, "Hey, thief! There's a thief! I'm gonna steal your bike." And she does.
That's not the same. That's not the same girl.
Is it not? Okay, I don't care.
No.
I don't care.
The girl the guy was taking the picture of was the girl with the beginning.
Okay, sure. So she steals his bike, and he runs after her, and he gets a phone call from the sister, and he's like, "I'm busy with something. I'm not gonna show up. I'm busy." Not mentioning at all that someone just nicked his bike, which would be a good excuse at the very least.
I feel like he could have said that. She's like, "Oh, okay," and then he finds the girl collapsed
With his broken bike.
with his broken bike. He's like, jeez, I'm calling an ambulance because this person might be concussed.
This person is voiced by Ochiko in the dub. This person is very annoying.
I like how after this, he never brings up the fact that she broke his bike. And after she stole it.
She's supposed to be a flighty character.
Just like wakes her up. She's like, I gotta go. Like, that would have been a great moment of like, no, ambulance, and also you broke my bike. What's wrong with you? But yeah, apparently her bag got stolen with her phone and her wallet. But her wallet was empty anyways, and her phone only has one number in it.
And then the very next scene, she's completely forgotten about the bag, which he comments on. What about your bag that you were so insistent that we had to get? And she's like, yeah, it's fine.
You stole my bike and broke it, chasing after your bag. Just say that, please.
So what I'm getting here is this is a failed bike thief making excuses.
Yeah, and then bribing him with sex is the impression I got. Because the very next thing that happens is she says, "Oh, well, my keys to my place were in that bag, so maybe I should come home with you."
Well, no, she says, "Oh, nobody's at my house tonight."
That's what she starts off with, and then immediately chastises him for being a pervert. What? That's not what. Stupid.
Don't you understand? This character is supposed to be the type that teases you.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and all while this scene is going on, they are trying to do things that look interesting and failing, and also failing to give a reason why they're trying to do these interesting things, like having
these things supposed to be interesting.
Like every now and again, it will just jump cut to a black screen and then jump cut back into something else, and the scene slightly changes.
Here's the thing: this show does a lot of,
defend it for me, Zero.
For lack of a better word, it does a lot of like interesting shots, and those interesting shots are great.
No,
but there's
they're
no
not.
reason
They're trying to be interesting shots, but they don't mean anything, so they're crap.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, this is an interesting shot, but what does it mean? What's the purpose of it? There is no meaning. There is no purpose. You're just trying to be cool and interesting, and it's completely backfiring. Like, if you want to see a show that has tons of cool and interesting shots, go look at, Bake Monogatari. That whole series is just built upon cool and interesting shots and camera angles, but this tries to be something like that in terms of like, oh, now it's black and white. Oh, now she has the outline of the stars. But it doesn't
Yeah. Oh,
mean anything.
I did have a comment on the opening, which I just had a running monologue of the director going, God, we are going to save so much money on this. Can you believe it? We're getting away with just still images panning across black and white sketches. This is going to be great.
Oh my
We're going to
God,
save
that
so
opening.
much.
The first, like, okay, so the first, like,
I
here's
want to turn it off.
here's my
Right
reaction
there.
for this show was like the first 30 seconds. I was like, okay, kid that, doesn't know what he's going to do with his life, kind of is a screw up. Maybe we have something here. First minute and a half, I was like, I want to die.
2 minutes in, which is I think like 30 seconds into the opening. I'm just gonna tell everyone I don't want.
I don't want to watch this. I'm going to try to. It got to the point where, after the whole bike scene and everything, I was actively trying to just get as little watch time in as possible, because I was just trying to skip ahead and try to get to things.
Mm. We have to suffer through this, so do you. No skipping.
I still watched it.
Did you crank up the playtime or?
Yes. 1.25 wasn't fast enough.
Yeah. So after that whole thing, we go back to the actual plot that is referenced in the summary, and thus is the actual plot that we're supposed to be paying attention to, that was completely unrelated as far as I can tell from that other stuff that we just watched. We go back to the scene of the train station, the abandoned train station. And he's like, hey, you're here again. And she's like, oh, you're that guy. I think, or something like that. And we do a couple of these scenes where she doesn't remember, but makes vague indications that maybe she does remember. It says in my book, you're this guy. And he's like, yeah, and he has stupid hair. And I just thought I'd throw that in there. Yeah, they make these oblique mentions of, yeah, she probably can't remember him actually, and it's really sad. And it doesn't land because she's very young and it's very confusing that she's just sitting on an abandoned train station and is so super, super happy to have a friend when she's a young girl and thus would probably have some sort of support network. Unless they found out that she had this amnesia thing and thus was completely abandoned immediately.
Hey, look, it's another visual novel trope. This girl has no friends. That's why you're the perfect love interest. Because she has no other choices.
Yeah, no friends, no family. Which is weird, because this character would not be self-sufficient in that case.
It's weird because apparently she has a character she refers to as One-chan, who she messages the younger sister of the one dude.
So, she has a friend.
She has a friend and family that she did send a message to earlier that said Merry Christmas.
So, yeah, 50 First Dates this way better. Like, that character had an established support network. She didn't really need this guy that showed up, but it was nice to have him, is the point.
Yeah.
But they're treating
the
this one random guy that talked to her at a train station as the best thing since sliced bread. And
Wait, the train station stuff was real?
Apparently, yes.
I've been under the impression that the train station stuff and anything involving fluffy-haired, brown-haired dude was a character in like the other male dude's manga that he was trying to do.
oh god, I hope that's not the case, because that's even worse.
But he wasn't. The other dude isn't a mangaka though. They said it in the party of what is he, a mangaka? It's like, no, he's not.
Yeah, like in the first scene he was introduced, he had like storyboards and stuff in the background. He was drawing.
Oh.
I don't know.
And then everything that he did ended up being like fluffy haired brown haired dude went to a church, only instead of a nun, there was no nun, there was a dude there. So
I have to find.
God, it is that, isn't it? Oh my God.
Is that it? Is that what we're actually dealing with? Is that?
I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure that's what this is.
I hate everything.
It doesn't say that in the synopsis at all, and I'm just.
Yeah, I think that's it, dudes. I think that's what it is. It makes sense. It's not good, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that does sound like an amateur storyteller's first thing would be just an extended bottle episode with scene after scene in the same single location, trying to establish a character without actually establishing a character. Yeah, that sounds, yeah.
Like if anybody has watching this has seen this show and knows the answer, just I don't know, tell us so that we can understand what the heck's going on.
Yeah, tell Kenji how right he is. He never gets enough of that.
Because everything I see just treats
also,
it as two separate love stories.
If somebody's seen this, please tell me why the fuck this is an 8.1 on Anime News Network. On like any site would give this an 8.1 out of 10.
Okay.
Looking into the gameplay, the player has a chance to assume the role of 4 protagonists. Each protagonist is paired with a heroine. And each scenario in the original PC version of the visual novels includes scenes with sexual content. Yada yada. There's 4 main characters, and so that's why it's confusing.
Sure. Okay. Can we roll a new thing now, please?
All right, yeah, let's do that. Let's ignore EF Tale of Memories, brought to you by Ambien.
Brought to you by Condom Depot.
No, it's not cool enough to be brought to you by Condom Depot. Alrighty. Here we go. Let's get as far from the show as possible. 9.
9.
It is raining outside. Hard.
Yeah. Ivana's in the way of the numbers. I can't see which number it is. 35. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 30.
Ichiba Ikitoso. You already did that one. All right, 30. Let's see what we get. 1 out of 30 we get. Oh God, 27. I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
27.
27.
30. Mm-hmm.
Please don't suck. Please don't suck. Please don't suck. I can't take another shitty week. I can't.
Oh, I don't even need to look at this to tell you that it's not going to be a good one.
What's it called?
Bear with me.
You try to figure out how to pronounce it because I'm pretty sure it's some old bullshit.
No, I know how to pronounce it. There you go.
Edith Thurana Kiss. It was love at first sight for Aihara Kotoko as top student Irei Naoki delivers a speech on the first day of high school. After 2 years of secret admiration, I don't want it is the rejection she gets when she plucks up enough courage to hand him a love letter. Rejected, Kotoko vows to give him up. By a twist of fate, Kotoko's house collapses. Her dad and her put up at a friend's place, which happens to be Naoki's father. And thus, life with Naoki begins, and Kotoko's love for Naoki rekindles again. Much laughter ensues when scatterbrained Kotoko makes her countless advances, supported by Naoki's wacky mother, Noriko, on ice-cold Naoki, who hates girls and is a genius at practically everything from study to
So
sports.
this is a show about a girl creepily obsessing over a gay guy.
I don't want it. I don't want it. Veto.
Veto.
Where's my goddamn veto?
Group
Where
veto.
is it?
I'm putting up for group veto.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we have 4.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
I don't want it.
That's
Don't
what he
want any
says.
part.
So, yeah.
I don't want any part of whatever
And
this
I'm
is.
tired of seeing characters who are genius at everything. Stop.
Is she like flicking the V in this thumbnail image? No, she's not. Why am I thinking that way? I'm a horrible person. All right.
She may have, I mean, she might eventually turn that blatant. Like, I've been in kind of a similar situation. Not with the living situation, but like a girl that will not take a hint. It's painful.
Yeah. I'm not going to front. I'm also the guy that would not take a hint. So, yeah. That is a terrible person, I want to point out. So,
All right. Well, we are not going to watch this show. So
Nope.
does that mean we start over from 30 and I?
vetoes mean we start over completely. We only
Very
start
well,
over from the
then.
letter if it's a show that we literally can't do.
Okay, then. Let's get as far away from that as possible. With our luck, we'll probably get it again. All right, here we go. 25.
25. That's Z.
Z. There are not many left for this.
11.
11.
Have we not done Son of the Enders? I could have sworn.
No, I don't think so.
We
Alright.
did Zoids.
We did Zoid's Chaotic Century. We didn't do the others. All right, 7.
7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
No,
You're
I know
gonna
what you're
have-
gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
You probably don't because I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce this shit.
Okay, thank God. Wasn't what I thought it would be. Cool.
Oh, it's an OVA actually. Zetsumetsu Nigo Shoujo Amazing Twins.
Did we even watch this? Let's see.
There's
Can you
2
like it?
episodes.
How long are the
Hold on.
episodes?
I'm checking. Give me a second. And load. Someone make a distraction.
I'm a
Caw.
distraction.
Amane
That's all I got.
Todoroki is a young girl who is straightforward but also unthinking. She will try her very best in everything and say, I don't know how to answer you if you ask me whether this can be done. I just believe it can. If not, then nothing will get started. She easily gets stuck in her thinking, but
It's
she can
not
also
loading.
be easily moved at something small and start crying.
There should be mirrors.
I'm checking them.
Start with Stream
Come
and Go.
on.
It's usually a good one.
All right. It's 30 minutes.
Okay. In fact, I don't even know what this really is. It's not particularly explanatory in the summary, so I can't really complain about it. So I can't muster up a group veto for it. To be honest.
It's an
Do
OVA.
we have like unlimited of those? Because I
We get
kind of
2.
like that idea.
We get 2 per week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Sure. Might be good. You never know.
Never know. Wouldn't count on it.
At least it's better than the last one.
Alrighty, so that's the thing we're doing. Zetsumetsu.
God, yeah.
Natsumetsu Kiga Shoujo Amazing Twins.
God, that
Yeah.
other show just sucked the life out of this room. Like, God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's over now. We don't have to go
Is
back.
it? Is it really?
Yes. Yes, it's. In fact, I'm very deliberately going to read it out on the list now. Whereas, what was it called? F.
F something that I don't care.
You have a tale of memories, but also
Background
make sure you
color.
cross a tale of melodies. Any tale of EF, don't
Well, we don't do sequel shows. They're not on the list. So.
Good.
Yeah. So. All right, That's next week. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.